For thousands of years, the typical person lived at the subsistence level. But around 250 years ago, attitudes towards free innovation changed, and creative destruction was praised rather than halted. An old economic system of holding you to your station was supplanted by one which is constantly trying to eliminate the need for your work and effort, but in succeeding, opens up new and more prosperous opportunities for you. Billions of people have escaped the poverty of our ancestors, and still more are joining us every day. And so long as we keep suppressing our urge to stop the engine of creative destruction, the growth is likely to continue long into the future. But this system is not perfect. Our wealth depends on the maintenance of our advanced production processes and the financing of new ideas. And there does appear to be some inherent instability to an economy built on credit. Our monetary system is built on trust, and when uncertainty erodes that trust, monetary shocks can pull it all down like a house of cards. But we have seen how competent monetary policy can help to reinforce that system, and how government intervention has made these dips in our prosperity less frequent and less severe. In this way, the government can help the economy. But we can't ignore that sometimes the government is the problem. High taxes and regulations can stifle economic growth. And sometimes it really is something out of our control, like a pandemic that slows the economy down. Those are our answers to the two questions we framed the course with. They aren't perfect, and they leave a lot left still unanswered. But in building those answers, I hope you learned a lot about why the world is the way it is. So, as you look to the future, what should you take with you from this course? Each generation takes on the project of making the world into a better place, fixing the errors of the generations which came before us. But success is not guaranteed. Sometimes we end up moving backwards because we tear down the work of others when we're unable to see its value. The parable of Chesterton's fence helps us see the fallacy formers run afoul of. When you come across a fence blocking progress along a road, and you cannot see the point of it, don't just tear it down. Take the time to figure out what the purpose of the fence is, and once you do, then you will have the understanding you need to make the proper reforms. I hope that taking the time to understand why institutions like the Federal Reserve are there, or why Keynesians or Austrians or supply-siders believe what they believe, has left you better able to process the histrionic cries of those reformers using emotion to try to bring you to their side. You now have the tools to independently assess the state of the macroeconomy and think through what the impacts of certain policies might be. The media tends to be pessimistic, focusing on the worst side of everything, and politicians want you to think there will be an economic apocalypse unless they and their allies are promptly swept into office. But you can evaluate economic data all on your own now, and you can identify the decision makers that are really influencing the outcomes. But don't just take my word for it. The world is a wonderfully interesting place, and it's worth knowing about. Find ways to make learning about the world part of your life. The story of our economy runs so much deeper than we could ever cover here, and I hope you will continue to grow your understanding of it. In fact, if there's one thing I hope you get out of this course, it is to spark your own age of innovation. Don't settle for linear growth and get stuck in a Malthusian trap of limited understanding like they did in the past. Learn to grow and judge your success by whether or not your understanding of the world is increasing exponentially over every year. The challenge, dear student, is to improve yourself, to enrich yourself. Enjoy it.